in this environment, in these times that's going on. Feel free to raise your hand if you know how to raise your hand. But like I said, you can put it there in the chat if you have a question, if we do not get to them. I'm going to go ahead and ask our Zoom host to begin to record at this time, and then we'll get started with our virtual session on how to set up your online Social Security account. Go ahead, Zoom Master, if you will. Welcome again. My name is Vanessa Sweet for our virtual online how to set up your on my personal Social Security account. And there are several benefits for you starting a Social Security account with the Social Security Administration. And that's what this event is talking about with you tonight. Is nothing, if it's nothing else, it's because of what has happened recently in this pandemic environment, what has been happening where many of the agencies we're normally used to going to, talking to a representative, getting our stuff done face to face, because of the COVID-19 and because of the pandemic, some of these local offices are closed and you cannot get in. And even if you could, you still have to wait in that long line. You still have to set up an appointment. You still have to see a representative. And even with that being said, you can call the 800 number, you can call and talk to someone, but that may take about 2 to 3 hours before you can get to an actual person. So with this event, the benefits of getting the account is just cutting through all the paperwork, not having to go somewhere and wait in line, not having to be on the phone for knows how long to get your information, just to talk to a representative. So that's one benefit within itself, to establish your own My Online Social Security account with the Social Security Administration. Some of the other benefits would have to do with uh, access to your statements anytime you need them, 24/7, planning for retirement. And it's always a good time to plan for retirement. The day you start your job is a good time to plan for retirement. The day you start receiving any type of benefits or income, keeping up with that information. Another reason you would want to get a My Online Social Security account, let's say that you had an identity theft. Someone may have uh, taken advantage and used your information without your permission. You want to pull also your credit report, and you also want to pull your Social Security account. Keep in mind that people who do illegal things, their minds just go all kind of ways, and one of them is to get employed using your Social Security information, and they may be receiving income in your name under your account. And you say, well, that's to my advantage. But think about it. That means somebody has your identity and somebody is using it. So that's another reason to check. As soon as you feel as if your information has been compromised, that someone has used your information, in addition to checking all of those credit reports and pulling all that other data, you want to pull your Social Security information to see if someone is using your Social Security number for employment purposes. And sometimes there have been instances where you've worked somewhere and that company or that business failed to file or failed to report your data. So you want to make sure you're not missing out on income so that it will be there and not wait until years later and you have to go back and prove, see if the company is still in existence, see if they're still around, or if they have your records. So that's another reason to check and have a My Social Security account. In addition to your Medicare, in addition to Medicaid, and to those other things in our older ages. But if you're over 18, if you have a Social Security number, if you're a US citizen, you should be establishing an online My Social Security account. This account is housed by, is owned by, is managed by the Social Security Administration. Is not contracted out, is not a second party. It is with the Social Security Administration. So I wanted to tell you that so you'll know that your information is secure, your information is in one agency and it's not sold out and it's not shared with anyone. It helps you get the estimates on your benefits. It helps you to verify your accuracy of your earnings. And it helps you to keep track of what's going on to see what's out there. These are just basically estimates of your statements that you can get without having to call anyone, without having to wait in line, without having to get a number, without having to talk to a representative. You can do it from the comfort of where you are. You can also the benefit is you can always get a copy of your social security number card. If you lose it, if you misplace it, you can just go online to your My Account, request it, pop it in, and then it comes back to you in the mail. You have your own copy without having to go in, fill out forms, or go online and prove that you are who you are. So those are just some of the benefits. There are many, many more that goes along with that. So it doesn't have to do with age. It doesn't have to do with being needing a current existence of saying I'm ready to retire. But there are other things that you can do with that online My Social Security account. Any questions so far? Okay. We're hearing none. What I want to do is I want to show you the steps of actually setting up that account. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask if I can get the screen shared, if I get permission and access to share the screen, and would like to let you see what it looks like when you walk through that online account. So if I can get access to the screen. Okay, seeing that I'm unable to get access, what you would do is once you log into your Social Security account at the Social Security Administration, you would just go to www.socialsecurityadministration.gov. And once you go in there, you're going to see my account. I'm going to share you my screen slides so you can actually see that. We talked about some of the benefits of the account. It helps you plan for retirement, keeps your data private. You get estimates of your benefits. I say estimates because they won't know until you actually submit a claim for your benefits that are available to you. More than just your retirement benefits, but other benefits that are out there. Disability goes through the Social Security Administration, and then survivor benefits also are out there through the Social Security Administration, and spousal benefits are others. You can request a replacement card, like I stated earlier, and you get instant proof of your benefits. Sometimes you're applying for other things and they ask for proof of your Social Security benefits. You don't have to wait, send a statement, bam, there it is at the touch of your fingers that you can go in and get that. Once you set up that account, it's automatically ready for your use, ready for your access, ready for you to download data and material that you will need. To establish your online account, what you would do is you would go to socialsecurityadministration.gov/my account, and you're able to pull that up. So I'm going to show you what that screen looks like because I want to make sure you're not going to anyone else. You're not going to an account that's unofficial. And I do want to inject here that the Social Security Administration houses this account, like I stated earlier, and to be mindful of, they do not charge you for the account. There is no fee to set the account up. It is no charge. It's free and it is yours. It is your data. It is secure because it's with the Social Security Administration. Because I wanted you to see this insignia so you'll know what the screen looks like. Anything else is a false and is a fraud. So you're making sure that you're actually at the Social Security Administration account, which is .gov, which stands for government. And then you just select the blue button to create your account. So once you get in, you're going to go in it to create your account, and then it'll take you to the next screen. I was going to do this as a PDF, but I wanted you to actually see these so that you could click on them yourself without it being a PDF format. So you're going to do is you're going to go in and create your account, and you're going to select create account. They're going to ask you for very personal information. So know that you should be applying for this account and not someone for you or on your behalf. It is important that we not be afraid of the digital environment. Uh, we will not be going back to normalcy as we were accustomed to with some of the offices and agencies that we were looking to go into and actually talk to a representative. You most likely will be talking to a kiosk or you'll be dialing in and talking to an automated service. So establishing your on my Social Security account will be to your benefit. Your information or someone you know that you can trust who is someone who would have administrative uh, authority over your information, over your data, and over your material. So by you establishing the account, you are more likely to remember it. You're taking ownership and you're building your confidence in getting out there and getting on these digital platforms. So you'll know how to navigate through it, have some working idea of what you need to put in and what is expected. So it's going to ask you some very personal information, such as your name, your date of birth, your social security number. It's going to ask you about your maiden name, and it's going to ask you questions about places you lived before. It's going to ask you, is this your address? Have you ever worked here before? And some things that only you should know. So I caution you, highly caution you, to not allow someone else to establish it for you, but to do it for yourself so that you'll remember your username, you'll remember your password, and those sensitive questions that they will ask you to secure your account. This next slide is just showing you the terms of the agreement. They're going to ask you remind you that you are aware of what you're doing. You are aware that you're setting up an account. You're aware that they're going to ask you personal information and you're willing to share it. So at the bottom, it's going to say you agree. So you accept those terms of the agreement. And then you're on your way to establish your account. This usually takes about 5 minutes for you to set it up because it's stuff you already know. It's information about you that you're ready to share and to tell with your online My Social Security account. And with this online Social Security account, just want to let you know, once you establish this and you go green, you're going green because you're no longer using paper, you're no longer getting the printed documents that you need. You're storing them somewhere on a digital device where they're accessible to you, where you're easy to keep them and to maintain them in one place. And you will receive reminders which contain no personal information about you. The Social Security office will not call you and say, hey, we're trying to verify this, we're trying to verify your account, can you please provide this? They do not do that. So it's important that you keep your information, keep up with your access information, your name, your user ID, and your user password. So you can immediately view once you receive your My Social Security account, because what they will do is there's a two security process. Well, what they will do is once you set it up, they'll ask you, we're going to send you an email or we're going to send you a text message to verify that you are who you are. So once you go in and you establish this account, it's going to ask you for your email address and it's going to ask you for your phone number. So they can either text you your security code or they can email you your security code, and you have 10 minutes to respond. 10 minutes to respond with that email or with that security code for that two-step security process. And I implore you to select which is the best method for them to contact you. Keep in mind, we often change emails, we often change phones and get new phone numbers. So make sure if you do, update that information in your My Social Security account. So that's another thing that you want to keep up to date and keep current so you can have access to that information. Like I said, these are some of the questions that they will be asking us. Tell us who you are, that you are who you say that you are. So, like I stated, they'll ask you for your name, your social security number, date of birth, your contact information. Where do you live? So, you want to put all that information in there to let them know I am the person who's applying for this account. And as you do that, they will be checking to make sure that that is the correct data. And that is what they will have and update their records for with you with the Social Security Administration. I do want to plug in here and state that uh, it's important once you do get your Social Security account that you access it. Don't just get it and just file it away and say, "Oh, I put it up." Because I had to check when I was preparing this presentation about my Social Security account, and when I called and spoke with the representative after an hour wait, he said, "Oh, you haven't accessed your account since 2018. And do you still want to keep this account? Do you want us to cancel it or what have you?" So they do those accounts that are dormant, that have no activity, they can close them down. So they want to make sure that they are being secure, because some people who haven't touched their account in 4 or 5 years, they may not even know what their phone, their access a code is. They may not even know their user ID, and they may not even remember what they put in to get that account. So we're encouraging you to check your account on a regular basis, at least once a year, to make sure there's no fraud, to make sure no one has been tampering with your account, and make sure that your pay, that earnings that you've received have actually posted to your account, and that your records are current and up to date. So those are some things that I wanted to share with you, but I did want to that's basically it, because it only takes about 5 minutes for you to get it, 5 minutes for the processing, and bam, you're in there. The only delay probably would be with you receiving the text or receiving the email to put back in the confirmation information to say that you are who you are. And then after that, you're able to go in, you're able to look at your estimates, you're able to review your data, you're able to check everything to see if it flows, if it posts, and if it's accurate, and print and download all of those things and that data that you need. I do want to reiterate, and I cannot reiterate enough, that this is your personal sensitive data. And you want to make sure you secure it just like you would secure anything else. Be mindful of who you give access to, who you share this information with, and the purposes that you use it for. In our community, we've just seen so many who have pulled back and shy about getting these online accounts. But I implore you, it's necessary in this day and age that we stay digital, that we keep ourselves abreast of those things that are out there for us to use and to operate without having to go into an office, to wait in a line, or to be on the phone for an hour or 2 hours waiting to get a question answered when they may have to redirect you or need more information. So there are times you will still need to talk to a representative. There are times when you still need to interact with an actual person and set up with a counselor. But most of these things you can do online. Most of these things you can do yourself. And most of these things, they're accessed 24/7. Because if you're worked all day and you've been in meetings and been in sessions, by the time you make it to the Social Security office, they're closing their doors. So they're not open on Saturdays and Sundays. Even when we go back to what we call normalcy, you still can pull this data on a Saturday, on a Friday night, at 9 p.m. or at 1 a.m. in the morning. You have access to your data that belongs to you. So I wanted to point those in, to press those in, and to encourage those to go out there, get your accounts, set them up, and start using them, because there's your data that you can have access for. Let's let our community know. Let's tell people that they should be using this platform. It's not new. It's been around for many, many years. It's just that we have not been taking advantage of it. So that's what I have now. And I want to open up the floor to see if there are any questions about setting up and establishing your My Social Security account. Let me ask a question. Does anyone in our audience, does anyone have one of these My Social Security accounts?
Hey, Vanessa,
Yes.
this is Mary Kay. I already have one. I set it up probably 3 years ago, but I couldn't tell you the last time I logged in. Are you still required before applying for any benefits to actually visit an office?
Yes, that is correct. When you're ready to set up for your benefits, you have to see a counselor because there has to be wet signatures on the documents. Yes, that is correct. And keep in mind that Breakthrough Leadership Foundation, we are not in the business of just sharing about what the Social Security Administration does and all their features, but I do want
Right.
to put the number here. It's on the screen for you. And it also talked about some of the impact to our Social Security with some of the temporary relief efforts that were given in 2019 and 2020 from the COVID-19 package. Some of that details is there. So that link and that reference information to the Internal Revenue Service is there on your screen. And those two numbers are the numbers to the Social Security Administration. This is the number I called last week to verify some information, and I just wanted to test the number to see if it worked. So I did speak with a representative after about a little over an hour at the 1-800 number. So that is a good number. It does work. And I use this website to go in to get the screenshots that I shared on the slide deck tonight. So I just wanted to let you know I did test them to make sure that they are there and that they are correct. Does
Yeah,
anyone else? Go ahead,
I just
Mary.
want to say that when Sean died, when I'm a widow, when my husband died, I had to call the Social Security Administration to find out his information and to get the small benefit they give you when your spouse dies. And I had to wait an hour. This was before COVID. I had to wait an hour and a half to get someone to answer the phone to make an appointment for them to call me 4 weeks later. So it is not, make sure you have some time and you're willing to like just set the phone across from you when you're dealing with them. But like, yeah, logging on was easy. That was the easy part, getting the ID. I think that I know for myself, I have some memory issues. They ask you some questions about, what date did you do this? What school did you go to? What car did you drive? Where
Yes,
was your mortgage? There are
yes,
some things you're probably going to have access to readily available, but the getting all that information was relatively easy. Trying to get to a person, not so easy.
that's true. That is correct because I think they asked me, like you stated, uh, my cars. They asked me about a car and they asked me about my mortgage. And I'm thinking, I do not remember. I do not remember. But yes, some things only you would know or you could recollect. Yes. Thank you, Mary. Was there anyone else that would like to share? And how have you seen and how have you used your My Social Security account?
Well, I'd like to chime in. One thing that I really appreciate about the account is being able to go in and to know that, if I needed to print off a statement, even if I needed proof of current income, because it's a good factor if you're applying for a loan or something that you need a right away income, you can just print that off. I've had to have a social security card replaced before. That was a back in the day, and it was really some gymnastics. And so, but now just being able to go online and then to know, your full earnings and how, as we talk about planning for retirement, but when we continue to look at the Social Security benefit and the law of progression and the age of 67, what would I gain at the age of 67 versus the age of 70, and how all of those dynamics work. And the more we plan for retirement, even making career decisions, sometimes that play a part. So there are many benefits to really looking at, and as our dear sister said about, the survival benefits, there's some survival benefits. Can you imagine how many people that didn't even get the funds that was really available to them because they weren't aware of what was there? And so I just really appreciate this presentation, just the encouragement, because I think one of the things that's beneficial to every person is not so much that we're not attached or maybe not familiar with something, but we get to a place where it becomes stagnant and stale and we forget. So my whole point is, this is reminder for some, and then for some, they saying, hey, I need to go and tag in and get into that account. And lastly, I would just say, just the frequency of it, even like we put things on our calendar, hey, next year at this time or 6 months, I want to know where I am and what I need to do and what, just what can transpire. And I think that it's a big help. My whole premise is to just really encourage some of my family members who are not planning for retirement. We talk about it, and this is just one facet of retirement, but if we get into retirement planning and we start to look at every angle, some people just say, well, hey, I want to have some passive income, but what about this benefit here? So if you want to travel the world and let your money hit the bank, and you'll know exactly where you are because of your choices that you made. So thank you for allowing me to say that.
So thank you for saying that. And as you were sharing, I thought about another benefit to add to our list is think about businesses that are no longer existing. Think about businesses that have gone out years, and sometimes you work in these little small places, small pockets, and you work a seasonal job or a temporary job, and pulling your social security list up, going to the SSA, my SSA account, you can see your work history and it'll document that you did work that year, that you did work that season, that you did have that income. Because they said, can you give me proof of your income? And say, I can't prove it because I can't go back to that company. I can't go back to that agency, but you can go back to my SSA and it'll show your estimated earnings from that period during that year that you can go back in time. I think it covers uh, 32 years of employment that it keeps up with. So you can go back and pull that old data right there from your My Social Security account. Thank you for sharing that. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'd like to add to that very comment when you talk about the eligibility and earnings, and
Mhm.
they do use credit hours, and so it's a 40 credit hours. So as you're working overtime,
Right.
we if we know that, then we can look back, because some people, they ready to retire and they think they can't retire, and then some they may try to get out too early and then not be able to get the benefits. So that was an excellent point about the eligibility and earnings for credit hours. That's that the Social Security office look at for your benefits.
Right. And right there on your My Social Security account, it gives you your estimates. It's a calculator. It can calculate what your benefits would be if you retire today. If I chose to retire today, it will calculate that for me. If I choose to retire in 2025, it will calculate that for me if I continue to make the same amount, making the same income over the next over the next few months. It'll calculate that for me and give me an estimate of what my monthly or annual Social Security benefits would be like. So you can go to your my SSA.gov and you can pull that up right there at the estimate. So it'll give you real time as of right now, or to give you an estimate if you go in and use the calculator. Has anyone had to assist someone who actually needs help with their my SSA account and to support them? Has anyone had to assist someone with those features that would like to share?
Well, I'll chime in. I was trying to be quiet, but I have my elderly mother, and it has been such a blessing because helping her to expedite the Social Security, because I've gone back in the day. I've gone over to the to the office with her. We had to take a number and get it live, and whoo, oh boy, taking off work and doing all that. But now, so she qualified for some housing renovation through the government, and so they needed the proof of the Social Security and all. So it was a blessing knowing that, getting her set up on this online component, and then being able to go in and print that right off, and not having to go over there and spend hours, and just within minutes, and then being able to email or take the paperwork straight to the organization and allow them to do what they do. So yes, it's been a benefit for my mother, being able to go online and to just to keep up with things. So yes.
Thank you for sharing that because with the My Social Security account, it does come on the official letterhead. It does come on the official seal with the Social Security Administration. So you cannot doctor up the forms. It's not forms that you can create yourself. It's not just a sheet of paper that you have just printed and downloaded. So it does come official Social Security Administration information. Is not coming from a third party. It's actually coming from the agency. So thank you for sharing that with your My SSA account. Anyone else that had a question or a comment or an observation regarding your My Social Security account? Because even with that example, it implores us to share this with our community, to encourage them to go online and to establish that account so that they too can be efficient, they too can save time, they too will have those resources at their fingertip. We are going digital with our environment. We're going digital with many of our federal agencies. They're closing down these offices and there's less person, but you're still getting the quality of what you need. That does not diminish you receiving the reports, the information that you need. There will still be times where you need to talk to an actual person. You still need to set up with your counselor. You still need to set up with that face-to-face conversation, interaction, and ask those right questions. There will be times you still need to call in and wait on that long wait to get your question answered. But those other things, go online, set up your My Virtual Online account, get established, get those records that you need, check it out and monitor those things. So we don't want to have to wait. And it's not that we're waiting and wishing and hoping that someone would take our identity, but in the event that it does happen, you can go online at the convenience of where you are with the tap of a few buttons and get your information to make sure it's secure, make sure it's correct, and make sure it's up to date. So at this time, I don't want to prolong our event. I think we've gotten all our questions answered and those things that we wanted to share. And now I wanted to turn it over to the president of Breakthrough Leadership Foundation with his comments. Thank you so much for your time and for engaging with us on today.
Well, greetings to each of you. And my name is Dirk Montrace. I am serving as president of Breakthrough Leadership Foundation. And I applaud each of you today for taking your time out to really listen to this presentation so that you can better handle your Social Security account as well as help others to get theirs established. So many loved ones that need to be privy to this information. Breakthrough Leadership Foundation is a nonprofit organization and we were established in 2016. So we began to host these monthly meetings at the main branch of the public library here in Memphis, Tennessee. And so this is our first online event and there are more to come. And we're established to support individuals in all of their personal and professional growth as it relates to business planning, management of business items, and to stay focused on their journey as we explore this life and the many, many woes that come up when it comes to getting things done. And so let us know how we can help you. Let us know how Breakthrough Leadership Foundation can support you with your goals. And there'll be more to come. And like us on Facebook, like us on Twitter, and you can see the information on the screen. If you would get your camera out and take a picture there so you can have the information. Additionally, that's the same way that the Social Security office does. They get you to take a picture of your driver license and then they upload it and send it back. So I tell you what, these smart cameras and phones and all of those things, I'd like to also just thank Vanessa Sweet for pulling this presentation together and the team for their parts in the background. And so just thank each of you for coming and joining in with us. And I'm passing it back to you, Vanessa, for any closing thoughts.
Thank you, President Martray. And then we'll have our Vice President of Membership, Ms. Pamela Davis, will come and will give some remarks as well. Over to you, Vice President Davis. You're gonna have to start over, Vice President Davis. You've been on mute all the time. You're gonna have to start over.
Praise God. Once again, I would like to say thank you for attending. Thank you, Vanessa, for this awesome presentation. Greetings to you, to each of you tonight. I am Pamela Davis, Vice President of the Membership with Breakthrough Leadership Foundation. We are here to support you and working with you to accomplish your business goals. We look forward to you joining us in the future for our How to Work workshops and events. As President Martre has already stated, please reach out to us with any questions that you may have concerning or relating to business planning. We also have placed a link in the survey of those other survey for you to complete tonight of today's presentation. And we ask that those that we're going to recognize, those who have completed the survey, we're going to recognize them. One of them will be lucky to get a free gift card. If you have any trouble actually completing the survey or submitting it, please let me know. Again, my name is Pamela Davis, and we thank you for attending. The information that you saw earlier for Breakthrough Leadership, please feel free to contact us with that information. We look forward to hearing from you, and thank you once again for attending tonight's event. Back over to you, Vanessa.
Thank you, President Davis. I'm part of Toastmasters, and usually when we are on our mute and we don't want to unmute ourselves, we usually just, shake our hands as a form of applause. So you guys have been awesome on today. Thank you for your participation. Thank you for engaging with us. And if there are no other questions, if you had any questions about any questions about Breakthrough Leadership Foundation, we'll be happy to engage you with those. As President Martre has so well stated, that we're about helping you achieve those goals that you have, those things that you're looking to acquire in your business, your professional, your personal development, your goal setting, your business planning. If you have some ideas that you have thought about that you've always wanted to get around to doing that you've never gotten around to do, we can help you with those as well. So we help with purpose in mind, and we customize to help you be all that you're called and created to do and to be in this earth and beyond. So with that being said, you can place your information in the chat. I was just trying to wait around to see if we had anyone's responses from the survey so we could reach out to you. Knowing that we will respond and you will receive that gift card to those that responded to our survey. Thank you for participating. Thank you for investing in yourself. And thank you for coming out on tonight. Any remarks from Vice President of Education, Mr. Sweeney? Did you have any comments or any remarks? I see you out there. If you had anything that you wanted to share. And he turned his head to see if I was talking to someone else.
I'm sorry. I was trying to make sure that I could talk without background noise, but I wanted to say it was a wonderful presentation, and I appreciate everybody who joined tonight. I am the Vice President of Education for Breakthrough Leadership Foundation. My name is Luther Sweeney, and I'm glad to be a part of this wonderful ministry to the community here in Memphis and the Mid-South, and to whoever is hearing us. It could be anywhere now that we're virtual. I just wanted to say that this is a very important topic. Regardless of your age, regardless of your financial condition, Social Security is going to be around. A lot of times we hear rumors about how it's not going to be there, it's not going to stay. But here's the thing, how many times have you heard rumors about a lot of things? It's not based on rumors, it's based on the way our country works. We always want to take care of one another. That's always been true in the church, and it's also true in the government. So we are going to take care of people. The way may change, the methods may change, but we need to understand how to use these benefits, because think about it, when we receive income, what do we do with the income? We don't just use it for ourselves, we use it to take care of our loved ones. So it's important for us to learn about Social Security, no matter our age, no matter our financial situation, because we need to be responsible with whatever resources we have. So I just thank God for this opportunity, our president, our executive director, our vice president of marketing, our other members and presidents. We just thank God for you joining us, for letting us take this time tonight to tell you about a vital topic. And just to let you know, I signed on to the SSA account about 4 years ago, and I check it twice a year. And it's been a big help to me to be able to understand how to develop my strategy on when to retire and when to take the benefits. Because if you take it too early, you'll reduce your amounts. If you take it at the right time, you'll get the maximum benefits. So it's a great tool for doing that. I don't have to search for some mail through, and you wouldn't want to know what I have to search through, boxes of mail, but I just go online and there it is. So thank you again for letting me share this information, and I'll turn it back over to you, Ms. Executive Director.
And thank you, Vice President Sweeney. I also wanted to share that any information that you share with Breakthrough Leadership Foundation, we do not sell it. We only use it just to reach out to you and invite you to future events. So if you provide us with your phone number or with your email address, it stays with Breakthrough Leadership Foundation. It does not go to anyone else. We do not solicit it. And even when we send out information, we do not send out the mass where everyone sees your data. Only you will see that data, and only members of Breakthrough Leadership Foundation. So thank you for entrusting us by completing the survey. And if we reach out to you, it's just to invite you to other things, not to sell you anything, because we are a nonprofit entity. Breakthrough Leadership Foundation is nonprofit, registered with the Internal Revenue Service. So just wanted to share that with you, wanted to let you know. We do not do a great deal of events, but the events that we do it to make impact, we do it to make a difference, and we do it to change lives for the better. So that's what we're about, helping you be the best that you are called and imparted to do, and using the resources wisely that we have, with sharing information that's relative, that's pertinent, and that's accurate as possible. So thank you again for being with us tonight. Look forward to future events, to invite you to our future events on how-to workshops that will be best for you and better for our community. Thank you once and again, and have a great evening.